if it's all about efficiency, I want to level 2 tanks. That's all I want. All right. So if there's a way, if there's a team, a Corvus tank team that can do 15 million damage, then I think Corvus is almost always better than Aurora. Now,
it's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
All right, so my undead team, 7.8 million. What I find interesting about this team is twofold. Corvus does the majority of the damage in this line, and Albus, of course. But you don't see Corvus often by himself. And I want to explore ways to fix that. I need to find a decent team, a decent line that does well with Corvus as a tank versus at least the 150. If we take a look at the boss's stats here, so 447 million. If you take 447 million and you divide it by 30, each member of your guild needs to do 15 million damage to the level 150 boss. This is high-end stuff. Each and every single member of your guild needs to be able to do 15 million damage to the level 150 Osh without using your meta team, right? Your meta team is Isaac, Zhu, Nebula, Sebastian, Martha, with an assortment of pets thrown in there, right? So the strategy then is to build the Osh team up the most. Obviously, you can't worry about the 160 until you're consistently beating the 150. Once you're consistently beating the 150, you need to work on that Osh team as well as team or teams that you can collectively as a guild do 15 million damage each. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I only did here we go. I did 9.4 million damage. All right, 9.4 million damage to the 150. All right, so if there's a team, a Corvus tank team that can do 15 million damage, then I think Corvus is almost always better than Aurora. Now, don't burn me on the stake here. Aurora's amazing and an absolute amazing choice as a tank, but Corvus does more damage versus Osh if he can stay alive, and I think he's on par with Aurora in PvP. I think they're both great against Osh. I think they're both great against, a variety of teams. And obviously they have different strengths and weaknesses. But unless you can find a team with Corvus, and this is actually the real reason why we got to find this out. Unless we can find a good team with Corvus only as a tank, then the question of what tanks you should level is always going to be Rufus and Aurora. Always, 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 right? If a new player asks on Facebook and web which tanks to level, the two default answers are Rufus and Aurora, because they're both good in PvP and they're both excellent against Osh. Okay, other tanks do well. Galahad is amazing versus Osh, not super high end on PvP. Astaroth is good in PvP, not super high end on Osh, right? Ziri has its own arguments. Luther has different arguments, right? All of these tank choices. But of the tanks that are out there, and I'm not talking about top tanks here, Aurora, Rufus, and Corvus are the three. Cleaver is important as well. You throw in Alvanor in there. Obviously, you use Isaac as a tank on the main team. But, if we're talking about the three tanks to level, and I look at my guild's damage log, and almost every instance of Corvus, he's behind Aurora. Corvus and Aurora on my team. Let's see, Corvus behind Aurora. Corvus behind Aurora. This one right here from Herd Bull did almost 10 million damage. A lot of hope here, a lot of opportunity there. This gives me hope that the team is out there, and I think I have an idea what that team might be. Unfortunately, we can't do max tests. We can't do testing on Osh every week. Corvus, Aurora, Corvus. This is a throwaway team. It's just the last stack of heroes. Corvus with Rufus. Corvus does stand in front of Rufus here. Didn't do much. This Corvus team did 2.3 million damage. How did this one do? 1.1 million. Corvus. Okay, so here's Corvus. Here's a 15 million damage team with Corvus. Okay. My count can't reach. I think Corvus lasts longer is better than doing more damage short time, and so it's better to put Oliver on him than Albus. Oh, I agree. If Corvus is going to be main tank versus Osh, I think Oliver is absolutely the choice. Patrick, my undead team on Osh is Corvus, Morrigan, Phobos, with Aurora and Cleaver. Well, who run early Corvus, Morgan have advantage later. I think that Corvus and Morgan are the answer to a lot of problems. And again, we gotta explore this problem further. But if we can all agree, and again, unless we are pushing for second and third Osh 160 kills. Unless we're consistently beating 2 160 Oshes, Corvus doesn't have to tank 160 Osh. He just has to do 15 million damage to the 150 Osh. Corvus can tank Ishmael, Corvus can tank Kark, Corvus can tank Dante. Corvus can tank a lot of frontline damage dealers. Not really many people can tank Iris, but throw Aiden in there, throw Yasmin in there. You can counter Iris pretty well. I'd put Marcus in 5 tanks for Osh. Okay, look at this. We're doing just fine. We're surviving the level 150 Osh just fine here. Using Celeste and Morrigan. Huge fan of this. Huge fan of this. Corvus have the least counters in the game, as I know. Corvus Rufus doing 18 million. Okay, so here's, again, double tank here. Yeah, so, we'll do some more looking at it. We'll do some more planning with it, and we'll come back to it. But does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? If it's all about efficiency, I want to level 2 tanks. That's all I want. If I'm leveling for efficiency, I only want to level 2 tanks. Isaac and Arachne and Morrigan and an infinite number of other, maybe not an infinite, a dozen other heroes can act as a 3rd tank in Grand Arena, Clash of Worlds, and Osh. Yeah, 2 tanks. Thank you very much. No tank it. No tank it. Yeah, just use Isaac.